Belt with Evolved Outdoor, and today we're settling one of the most debated topics I hear from homeowners here in Southern California: artificial turf versus natural grass. Which one is actually better for your yard? And I want to be upfront with you right from the start. There isn't one universal right answer, but there is a right answer for your yard, your lifestyle, and your budget. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which one that is. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about natural grass. There's something about real grass that just feels right. It's soft underfoot, it smells amazing after a fresh mow, and for a lot of homeowners, it's simply what they picture when they imagine their backyard. Here in Southern California, though, natural grass comes with some real challenges, and the biggest one is water. We live in a semi-arid climate. We deal with drought conditions, water restrictions, and some of the highest water rates in the country. Keeping a natural lawn looking green and lush year-round is usually expensive. Depending on the size of your lawn, you could easily be spending a lot of money each month in water costs alone during the summer months. On top of that, natural grass requires consistent maintenance: mowing, edging, fertilizing, aerating, dealing with those brown patches, and reseeding when things go bare. If you love being out in your yard and enjoy that weekend ritual, that might not bother you. But for a lot of my clients, it's time and money they'd rather spend actually enjoying their backyard, not maintaining it. Now let's talk about artificial or synthetic turf. Artificial turf has come an incredibly long way in the last 10 years. The products available today look and feel remarkably close to the real thing. And in some cases, from a design standpoint, they even look better because they stay perfectly green and uniform all year long. Here in Southern California, synthetic turf has become extremely popular, and honestly for good reason. Once it's installed, your water bill for that area drops essentially to zero. No more mowing, no fertilizing, no brown patches. It can be pet friendly, it drains well, and for families with kids who are out there every single day, it holds up beautifully. The upfront cost is where most people pause. And I want to be honest with you about this. High quality artificial turf installation can be an investment. Depending on the size of the area and the product you choose, you're typically looking at somewhere between $15 and $25 per square foot installed. That includes the base preparation, the infill, and the turf itself. But here's how I walk my clients through that number. When you factor in what you're saving on water, maintenance, and lawn care services each month, for over 5 to 7 years, the turf almost always pays for itself. You want to be sure you are getting a high-end synthetic turf that comes with a good warranty, typically 10 to 15 years for a quality product. Children also like to play on synthetic turf a lot of times over wet, muddy grass. So if your family likes lawn games such as cornhole or football ladder, usually synthetic turf is favored. One thing I do want to mention, that lower end synthetic turf can get hot under your feet. The higher end synthetic turf will get warm, but nothing like the cheap stuff. Still, on a sunny Southern California afternoon, a turf surface can get warmer than natural grass. That's something to factor in if you have young kids or pets who are out there during peak afternoon heat. Planting strategic shade from trees or maybe a pergola can make a big difference. So how do you decide? Here are 3 questions I ask every client when they're working through this decision. Question 1, do you have kids or pets who are actively using the lawn every day? If yes, turf is almost always the better choice for durability and low maintenance. Question 2, how important is the cooling effect of real grass to you? Natural grass does stay cooler, and if you spend a lot of time barefoot in your yard during the summer, that's worth considering. Question 3, what's your 5-year budget? Not just the install cost, but the full cost of ownership. When you run those numbers side by side, the conversation usually shifts pretty quickly to favoring a synthetic turf. For most of my Southern California clients, especially those with busy families, water-conscious values, or lower maintenance goals, artificial turf usually wins. But for clients who have large yards, natural grass can absolutely still make sense. The most important thing is that you make the decision based on your life, not just what looks good in a photo. If you want help thinking through your full backyard design, grab our free Backyard Remodel Starter Kit. The link is in the description below. It's a great starting point before you ever sit down with a contractor or a designer. And next week, we're talking about backyard shade structures, pergolas versus a solid roof patio cover, and how to figure out which one is right for your space. That is a topic I get asked about constantly, so make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you then.